Hello. Today, during our coffee talk, we actually went over the this little example inside of our project where we encrypt and decrypt some information, which I'm going to go over right now. So to get started here, what we're going to use is instead of using Java, we're going to be using C. And to use C, we're going to use the Dr. Brian Gladman's AES implementation to do this. And the instructions are down here on what we're going to do. So the first step, of course, is to get that, which you go to that link, you go here, and click on the code button, copy that, and you can, as long as you have Git on your computer, you can Git clone, paste that in, and comes right there. And it's the AES. ABC is a file I created, which we'll be using here momentarily. And in fact, just so you can see it, it's our file that we're going to be encrypting. Now you can go from the opposite direction. You can use this to decrypt the hexadecimal. To do that, you'll want to convert this hexadecimal into binary. I recommend the XXD tool to change that into from your hexadecimal to binary, and from from a file you want to put this into a file and create a file. But I think it's a lot easier just to type out A, B, C through Z, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then trying to encrypt it to compare to make sure that we have the same cipher text or cipher hex. So to get started, let's go ahead and change directory into our AES implementation. We want to edit the AES XAM .c file. So vim AES XMC. And of course, again, this is all inside of the this down here where the instructions we're going to follow. I did skip number 1. We'll get back to it. I'm going directly to editing the file first, which we're going to be commenting out a couple of lines. So we'll go down a couple. This is our first thing to comment out. And then our second part we're commenting out is inside of the function that creates the initial vector. I don't think we have to comment it out, because I'm pretty sure with the next change that we're going to do, the commenting out becomes moot. What we're going to do next is actually force feed it our own buffer, because it returns basically, well, it doesn't return, it sets the values of buffer, which is used later on as a pointer for the initial vector. But we're going to, after it's done making the initial vector random, it says, we're going to say, okay, now forget all that work that you did. Here's what we're going to use for the initial vector instead. So commented out those, put that in, and just to show you where I got the initial vector from, that is of course in the small projects assignment as the initial vector right there. So we want to go ahead and save that without the additional additions there. And then to go ahead and start doing the compiling that we skipped, go ahead and get these. We're going to need these later on. And then we've already done step 2, so we'll go on to step 3. Now with step 2, we did also add it where we changed the initial vector into what we want it to be. There, of course, compile that. We have that. And now this instructions, they actually go over how to encrypt and decrypt a file of your making. But what we're going to do is encrypt that ABC that I showed you earlier. So let's just copy ABC to here. So we have our ABC. Next, we'll want to run our code. Now this has a bunch of ones, which we don't want the ones. We actually want this key right here. And instead of the in file, which is this one, we're going to put the ABC, and the in file will be ABC, and out file will be abc.encrypt. So go ahead and do that. I have that command right here. I'm just going to copy and paste that in, make this video a little bit quicker. So there we go. Now we can see that right there. We can use cat abc.encrypt, and we can see that it's encrypted. Then we can do the hex dump abc.encrypt, and also see that the hex dump, the hexadecimal is the same as what we have over here. You got 9876, 9876, and then towards the back you can see that it's also the same, EBD8, EBD8, and you'll have to actually do it yourself to or look at the form yourself to see that everything is correct, but I assure you that all that is the same. Now we go back to our own code right here, or our command. Now we're going to change this from ABC encrypt to ABC decrypt, which I'll go ahead and show you that is not before I actually run the command. I did a Control C, as you can see right here. It's not there without me running it, but when I run it, in file abc.encrypt, out file abc.decrypt with a D for the decrypt, and of course our key right here, 30 zeros with the last two FF. And of course remember that our initial vector has been changed for the program to make sure it's the initial vector that we want. So to do that, ls, we see that we have the decryption, and then the cat abc.decrypt, and we have that right there. I'll go ahead and provide this file right here, the one that I edited, and I'll also provide the ABC file, so if you want to use that to encrypt and decrypt, so you can see all that along with this post. And that was it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.